Good afternoon, everybody. Today, our field test, we are going to be taking a look at Fiskars Brushaxe. This is a little small, compact brush axe, but I kind of like this little tool. So, you guys stick with me. We're going to put it through its paces, and maybe that'll help determine for you, the viewer, whether this thing is worth your time or money. All right, guys, real quick. Doesn't really so much has a sheath as it has a carrying case. This is actually decent if you're throwing this into a truck, car, hanging it up on the wall in your tool shed or workshop. Just got one little plastic clip. Now, it would have been nice to had a more modular option to strap to a pack, or if you're so inclined, your belt, but this would be kind of awkward for belt carry. We'll set that aside. Let's get some general dimensions here, guys. Let me give you an overall length. We are sitting at 19.5 inches overall. The width of the blade, hold on there, buddy. We have 2.25 inches in width. Now the cutting edge itself is going to be a little hard to measure because of the hook. Well, I'll try to get you this in general. So we're looking at approximately 9 inches, roughly. And it has a hole here, which is another way it'd be handy just to kind of put that on a nail, or put a screw in the wall in your workshop. Put that on the wall. All right. It's got the hollow handle, and a hollow handle roughly terminates about right there where the black collar starts. Decently light. It's got some weight to it, obviously. Most of the weight's forward. Now, for as far as I'm not going to really consider this much of a bushcraft tool, though it can fill the role of machete. It's definitely fantastic for clearing brush. So we'll get the camera reset here, guys, and we'll start doing some tasks with this. Now, this blade here is primarily a brush cutting tool. However, it will handle some smaller stuff. That's a very clean cut. Let me bring you in here so you can take a look at this real quick. Whoop. That's not bad at all. Now we got some briars here. Most of this is kind of dead. We got a few here it's still live and viable. This tool here, usually the way it's designed, it actually excels at cutting them sort of briars. That dead stuff, though, it is mighty hard to cut. That's a multiple rows, by the way, guys. Mix this with some running green briar mix in it too. Okay, that handled that task without any issues. Let's see if we can find some olive to put this thing to work on. Yeah, I know it's kind of funny to say try to find olive. That's out here in West Virginia, that's a lot like saying trying to find water in the ocean. However, and this right here is kind of the bread and butter for this tool. This slightly smaller diameter stuff, it actually excels at very well. That was pretty fast, pretty simple. Okay, now we will hit some of this high grass. This, you can use some pretty easy swings. You don't have to put a lot of physical strength in behind them. And I will say this is pretty nice if you're setting up a little camp. You need to clear out a small area, especially if you're dealing with mostly grasses. This thing does it quite well. Again, get down real low, get your tool lined up so you're not digging it into the ground. Get as low as you can. You can get quite low. So yeah, we'll take a closer look at that. You see all the hard stuff around just for a cut. Not too hateful. Now, this one has a completely flat, blunt backside. Traditional brush axes, they usually have, they're sharpened on both back and front side. However, since this one isn't, we can safely grip the back. Use this for a draw knife, and it performs the task quite well. So there, now we got a nice flat spot. There we have it, guys. Performs pretty good. I've had this for around 6 years. There's a different tool. I mean, it's the same company, same rough dimensions, but it's shaped a little different and it has a more blunter tip on it. I actually had a little trouble finding this one specifically, and I actually did luck out and find this one at Rural King. But the handle's a little slick, so it's got a lanyard hole. Might want to lanyard up on this if you're not wearing some grippy gloves, or you go hockey tape or whatever. Weight's pretty decent. Is this something that you're interested in? Well, that's totally up to you. It has a lot of functionality, and like I said, in some places it does similar work to a machete. If you were so inclined, you could sharpen this backside. Then you would have an extra cutting surface. Plus, it's more slightly traditionally machete shaped this way. But that's up to the end user. I didn't do that. Didn't feel the need to, because I wanted it specifically for the function that it has with the brush hook. Can't remember the price. I think it was a bit on the pricey side because the price had gone up on this stuff over the last 10 years. I'm not going to say it's way too expensive because it is a good quality tool. This thing has taken a beating. I've literally just slightly honed the edge on it a couple times since I've owned it. You know, it's held an edge well. Do I personally prefer it over a machete? No, I prefer my machetes over this specifically. However, I still like this tool, and you may like it too, depending on what your needs are. But it's definitely worth looking at if you like brush axes, brush hooks, and that thing in general. This guy's a nice travel size. The weight's pretty good, well balanced for the job it needs to do. So if anybody has been wondering about this tool, hopefully this review helped you out. I didn't do a lot of brutal stuff with it. I mean, I've actually batoned wood with this. It'll do it. And if that's necessary, that, you know, everybody wants to see that, I'll just throw in another video for you, or just do a short. I mean, I'll hammer it through a bunch of small rounds for you. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate your views, and you all have a very good day, and I'll see you in another video.